Hello and welcome to a playthrough video for Unbroken, a solo game of survival and revenge. My name is Artem Safarov and I am the creator of the game. Unbroken is a solo-only game that has been focused on this experience and is going to be playable in about 20 minutes. That will be significantly shorter than this video because you probably will not talk through every step of the way. It is a dark fantasy adventure that focuses on a story of an adventuring party that ventures into a dark, monster-infested catacomb and is not very prepared for that, so they get ambushed and massacred. You play as the sole survivor of the failed expedition, who wakes up alone in the dark, wounded, robbed of all their possession and terrified. So let's see what kind of a go you make of this terrible situation. Good luck and welcome to Unbroken. So this is the print and play of Unbroken. It does not use the latest graphics that we have, mostly for the icons, and the final game will look much different, darker, more dark fantasy. But this is the currently available version that you can download, and I'll put the links in the description. It's available from our website as well as from Board Game Geek. So we're going to use this for the purpose of this playthrough. I'm going to quickly go over what's here so that we will be familiar. This is not going to be a full explanation of the rules. I'll more explain them as I go through. The purpose of this is mostly to give you a feel for how the game plays with some commentary from me. So the first thing here is we have our character sheet. I'm playing as the Brawler, who looks very, very pissed at the fact that all his friends got murdered. So he is mostly kind of like a main fighter kind of a class. And on his sheet we see a few of his abilities that we're going to be able to use mostly in combat. No surprise, as he is a fighting class. We have our weapon. We start, of course, with our bloodied bare hands, and we'll need to craft our weapons for the future. And these two cards show the kind of resources that we have at our disposal. So we have 3 levels of effort: small effort, medium effort, and large effort, that we're going to be able to spend in order to wound monsters, get other stuff, and anytime we get wounded, we will lose some of the effort. If ever we need to spend effort and cannot, we'll lose the game, we die. This side we have treasure, completely or almost unnecessary here in the dungeon, but scores us lots of points at the end of the game. Food, if we don't eat this, we will starve and die. Metal and wood are used to craft weapons so that we don't keep punching monsters to death. And finally, cunning is a way to trick monsters and sometimes avoid some of the more violent solutions to situations. Up here we have 2 more sheets. One describes general actions. So these are actions that are available to us at all times and allow for sort of default, not very efficient exchanges between some of the base resources. And this is a very important thing. It's called our time tracker. So it shows how much time we still have to walk through the catacombs before we get to fight the next monster. So this serves as kind of the timer that ticks off how much time we have to prepare before we get into the combat phase of the game. So our Brawler comes to, he is wounded, all his friends are dead, he is desperate, lost and alone, so he will start going through the dungeon. And every turn, first thing we do is we have opportunity to perform some general actions, which we're not going to do right now. Next up, there is a decision step. So if I would be feeling like I'm ready to fight the monster, I could do so now. Of course, this is being just the beginning of the game. I'm definitely not ready. So we are going to go to the encounter. So I'm going to pick up 2 cards from the encounter deck and see what I get. So I have 2 options here. I can either spend let's just talk very quickly about what appears on the encounter cards. So we always have the time value here. This is how much the time tracker will advance if we choose this encounter. And then we have the standard sort of spend and gain line that shows us what we need to lose in order to gain some sort of a reward. So in this case, I definitely can't use this card because I don't have any wood to make shelter to rest, so I'm not going to use this. I will be able to pick up some discarded lumber, so I will go for this. So I take advantage of this card. 1 time passes, we gain 1 wood, and we keep going. Still some time to until we meet the monster, so I pick up another 2 cards and see what comes up here. A couple of interesting options here. This is definitely not going to work for me because I don't have any cunning yet. I am a dumb fighter after all, so no wood for me, which kind of sucks because if I would be able to get this, I would have enough wood to make myself a sturdy club to bludgeon creatures with, but not my destiny. I will be able to scavenge these remains of an unfortunate adventurer for some metal though. So I am going to do that, lose 2 time, and I gain 1 unit of metal. Now this, now that we're again at the general action step, I am now going to be able to craft a knife for myself. So on every weapon card, there are a couple of upgrade options. So you can upgrade your bare hands either into a club, for which I lack the wood right now, or a knife. It only needs 1 piece of metal, which I have, and a medium effort. Now, medium effort is not something I have right now, but it's something I can gain by using the focus general action. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to lose 4 small effort as 2, 3, 4, as I'm thinking really hard how I'm going to avenge all my friends, and I get this medium effort, and then I use this medium effort to sharpen my found piece of metal into a sturdy knife. It also cost me 2 time, but now I am much better armed. So I am going into the weapon deck and put up a knife weapon. So I'm now much better prepared to fight the first level monster. However, there's only 2 time left. If I let this time tracker get to 0, I will most likely let the monster ambush me, introducing an unpleasant effect. I'm not ready for that, so I think I'll say that I will not risk it. I will not try to get more encounters in, and I'll just say that I'm now ready to fight the monster. So I am now randomly going to determine which monster I get for level 1 via roll of the dice. So I got a 6 here to reach for and see what I get, and I will fight a giant spider. A classic, and this one is very, very crafty because as you can notice, he was smart enough to use web to net some discarded weaponry there to his stumps, and even has a shield defending him. So this is going to be a challenge. This is not an optimal monster for me to fight. But I won't get into it because the longer I fight it, the more effort I lose because it poisons me. However, I don't really have enough stuff to kill it with 1 big hit. So let's go in order here. So first thing is ambush. This would happen if I would let the time tracker get to 0, so it does not happen in this case. The next thing is trickery. In some, or in most cases, you can trick a monster instead of fighting it, bypassing the combat entirely. In that case, you don't get the reward and you don't learn a skill from fighting a monster, but you also don't need to spend effort poking it to death, and you don't need to expose yourself to the monster's attack. So I do not have cunning here, as for the aforementioned reason that I am a dumb fighter in this game. So it looks like we'll need to fight it. The special effect for this said that before the combat begins, I will need to gain a poisoned condition. So I'm going to go into my condition deck and find the poisoned condition. What the poisoned condition basically does is that I put some, in this case to start, 1 token on it, and before every one of my turns, I lose amount of small effort equal to the number of tokens on this sheet. So not great, not off to the great start, but let's see how much damage we can do here. So my turn is first. I'll start with every weapon lists a series of attacks, ways for me to spend my resources to wound the monster. This monster has 3 health, so I need to inflict 3 wounds on it. I could finish it right off if I would have enough medium effort, but I don't, and I don't think it's going to be the smart thing for me to try to get it here in combat, so I think I'll start with a nice little poke for 1 damage. So I spend 1 small, actually before I get to do anything, because I'm poisoned, remember, I lose 1 small effort, and now I will use this attack, spending 1 more small effort, bringing me down to a total of 7, to inflict 1 wound to the spider. Is 1 wound out of 3. It is now the spider's turn, And the spider's action basically gets randomly decided through this list. We'll see what he does. He rolls a 2, so he wounds me for 1 more small effort. So I get bitten by these giant mandibles, and now it's my turn again. Now, because I'm poisoned, again, the first thing that happens is I lose 1 more small effort, and now I am going to need to kill it, and I need to kill it fast because I don't want again to subject myself to the poison or another one of his attacks. So I am going to use one of the brawler's abilities, and that's power through. So by spending 2 more small efforts, I'm going to be able to inflict 1 additional wound on him. So I'll do this attack for 1, and I'll use this power through ability, removing this token, noting that the ability has been used. So the total cost for me is 3 small effort, 1, 2, 3, and I now deal 1 plus 1, that's 2 wounds, killing the spider. Huzzah! We are victorious in our first of the 4 combats. We now reap the rewards. It seems like we're able to salvage some food from the dead body of our opponent, as well as some lumber and medium effort and small effort, as we become clearly inspired that we're able to bring down such a nasty beast. We also get a skill, so I get to pick up 2 skill cards and decide which one of these do I want more. So the Tinker skill allows me to be creative with metal and wood and use them instead of one another, while Daring basically gets me a bunch of small effort at the beginning of every combat. I like both of these very much, but I think I really like Tinker because I have a bunch of wood, but what I really want is a bunch of metal to upgrade my knife to a sword, and having the Tinker skill will allow me to use that wood as metal. So I am no longer poisoned, clearly. Huzzah! I will take my Tinker skill. And the next thing that will happen is I will need to eat some food. Because this was first level, I need to eat 1 food, and that's exactly how much food I have here. So I will eat that. And every time I eat a food, I restore 1 small effort. Alternatively, every time I'm not able to eat a food, I would lose small effort. And the more food you're not able to eat, the more effort you would lose. So I'm all right here for now. And we are now going to level 2. Again, now we're back into the travel phase, so we're back to drawing encounter cards. My short-term goal here is really to restore some effort. That fight took a lot out of me. Now, I did make a knife for myself, so that's great, but my ultimate goal here is to restore a bunch of small effort. So let's see how much we can get from here. So I grab 2 cards. So I can either commit to the next encounter, which means I only get 1 card and I have to take advantage of use the action there, or I can get some food. Now the metal will allow me to upgrade to a sword very fast. I think I'm going to risk it just for that, because I think getting a leg up early might really give me a good opportunity to succeed here long term. So I spend 1 time and I do gain this 1 metal. Very nice. Now, because I have committed to the encounter, I only gain 1 card next time. Normally, I would now be able to upgrade to a sword already, because I have 2 wood and 1 metal that I would be able to use as 3 metal thanks to my tinkering skill. I'm not quite ready to do that yet because I'm really short on effort for now. So I think my plan so far, what I'm going to push here, is to try to trick the next monster, to just give myself lots and lots of time to recover some strength and then come into level 3 being really powerful. So in order to do that well, I need to know what the monster is. Now I could try to go for luck approach and just hope that I will have the kind of resources that I will need to defeat it, but that's a little too risky for my liking. So I think I will use my scouting general action to reveal the next monster so that I know what awaits me. On level 2, scouting costs 3 small effort, 1, 2, 3, and 1 time. That's all right. So now that I peeked around the corner and I learned what awaits me, I know that I will face, level 2, a mighty troglodyte. Yeesh, look at that thing. So what I'm really looking at here is the fact that to trick him, or her actually, that's a her, based on a character from a D&D campaign I ran. My players will recognize her. So this is a cunning and a food. So that's what I'll need in order to trick her. I'm not sure that I'll have that. So this will be kind of a flexible preparation on my end. The scouting might not have worked out great for me, but let's see where we end up with this. So again, because I'm committed to the next encounter, I pick up only one card and I have to take advantage of the exchange here. So I find some metal scraps. So I have to spend my last effort to pick up some more metal. Really not great, because I'm now at 0 small effort, so I have no more small effort. And that did take 1 time. I now have only 9 time left in which to procure a food and a cunning. So it's really starting to get into trouble here. Well, let's see if I'm able to find what I need. So we're going into an encounter again. Couple of options here. So I'm definitely not going to be able to spend a treasure for the clear reason of not having any treasure, because I am more focused on survival right now as opposed to looking for shiny baubles. This though is interesting. So it seems like there are some hunting trophies here, and if I make a fire, I'll be able to grill them to make some food. Now a food is something I will need to trick the troglodyte, and wood is something I do have in abundance. So I think I'm going to take advantage of this. Lose 3 time, 1, 2, 3. I'll lose 1 of that wood and gain 2 food in the process. So that's great. It brings us closer to our goal of tricking the troglodyte. Now, if only I can get that cunning though, because I'm with my 0 small effort and 1 medium effort, I'm definitely in no shape to actually fight it. But let's see if I'm able to find what I need to prepare myself. Okay, so back to the encounter. Take 2 cards. Ooh, look at this. So definitely I am in no position to lose any more small effort for the clear reason of not having any, as I am barely stumbling along these catacombs, so no thank you. This is pretty cool though. I get to spend 1 wood, which is fine, but I do get 4 whole small efforts, which is great. So I think I'm definitely going for this. So I spend 1 time, lose 1 wood, and I get 4 small efforts. Wonderful. This already puts me in a decent position of, if everything else fails, I will be able to just exchange these 4 efforts for a cunning and trick the troglodyte. So this is being salvaged slowly. Still 5 time left, so maybe I'll encounter something useful. 2 more cards. Ah, wonderful. Look at this. Exactly what I need. So for only 2 time, I can get a cunning, exactly what I need. I would be able to lose a food to get a couple of cunnings, but I only need 1, and I will need the food to not starve. So I think that's what I'm going to go for. So I spend 2 time and I get a cunning as I catch a breath behind some rocks and concentrate on my plan of action. Now the next decision is a bit tricky. I still have 3 time here. If I end up with an encounter card that pushes me to a 0, then I will not be able to trick the thing, and it's most likely going to kill me. However, I feel like I'm already kind of behind of where I should be in the long run, and if I just let this time elapse, I push myself even further back. So I think I'm going to risk picking up a couple of cards and just hope that there is one with duration of 2 or 1 that I can take advantage of. So let's see here. All right, it wasn't that risky, but I'm glad to see that it ended up working out. So I think this peaceful goblin wood collector might come in handy, because for giving him a metal, I get a wood and a medium effort, which is great because I can use the wood as well as metal, and it only takes 1 time. So I think I am going to do that. So I spend 1 time, I lose a metal, and I get a wood and a medium effort here. Great for our long-term strategy. Now that there is only 2 time left, I'm no longer comfortable taking any risks, so I'm going to say that I am now going to encounter the troglodyte. It did not ambush me. However, I do have an option of tricking it. So 1 cunning, 1 food, and we kind of make a deal with the troglodyte, and she lets us go on our way, and we don't have to fight her. We don't get all this awesome reward stuff, but we don't get stabbed either, and that's great. So goodbye, goodbye troglodyte. Now we don't get any reward or a skill because we didn't actually do any work, but we do need to eat. We're on level 2, so we need to eat 2 food. I'll eat 1, so I get to regain 1 small effort, and I was not able to eat 1. That means that I also have to lose 1 small effort for the first food that I was not able to eat, as hunger pangs grow a little bit stronger. All right, so we are now at level 3. I have 16 units of time for this one. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Still some time here. Lots of opportunities to build up my effort base and maybe even upgrade to a sword. So let's see what kind of encounters we're going to start with here. So for 4 time, a pretty chunky contribution, but we get 3 wood that, thanks to being inventive, in addition to being a dumb fighter, we'll be able to put this to good use. So I think I like this. So 4 time will pass by, and we'll spend 1 of our 4 small efforts, and we'll get 3 wood. So we now are a proud owner of 4 whole units of wood. If we would be playing Catan, we would be able to go for that longest road, but we're not going to do that quite yet. What this allows us to do, I think, is allows us to upgrade our knife to a sword, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to say that we'll use our 3 wood as 3 metal, thanks to our Tinker skill. We'll use 1 of our medium efforts, and we'll spend 2 time as we fashion a crude but efficient sword by strapping a couple more pieces of metal to our knife handle. So we are in business. This is a very effective weapon. So unless we really get unlucky here, we should be in a great shape for a level 3 monster. Of course, there are a total of 4 levels, so we are in a good shape here. Let's keep going for some encounters. So this is interesting. I could either spend some small effort and get 2 cunning units, or just spend a little bit of time and get some small effort. Ultimately, cunning has a lot of uses, but I'm kind of feeling very low on effort right now. So I think I'm going to use this and just rest a little bit in this small unoccupied cavern. 2 time passes, and I get 3 units of small effort. Okay, so we're still all right for time here, so we'll take another encounter, pick up 2 more cards. So these are a couple of interesting cards. I can either spend 1 time and get a whole bunch of extra cards during next travel, or I could spend a cunning and gain a new skill. I would not mind this, so I'm kind of regretting that I didn't take the extra cunning during the last encounter, but didn't know that, so that's water under the bridge. Instead, I think we'll go for this. So we'll spend 1 time and we'll get the 3 extra cards, and that's going to be a whole 5 cards. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, something good better be here. So another one of those extra cards. I think I'm all right without that. This one gives me a metal. I'm not really in the market for metal right now. Oh, this one gives me a food. Well, we'll need to eat. So this is something that I very much would want to pick up. This requires me to spend the cunning to get some medium effort. I would like to do that. I really wish I would take that cunning, but too late now. And this would allow me to trade 1 food for an awesome 5 small efforts. Damn, I really wish I would be able to do that, but I don't have any food. So instead, let's focus on getting some food as we harvest some sick-looking berries from the moss of the catacombs. So we spend 1 time, 1 small effort, and we are now a proud owner of a unit of food. So we continue to pick up some more cards here. Either more berries, of which we're getting probably pretty sick right now, or an exchange of 1 medium effort into 5 small efforts. I'm kind of, I will need to eat 3 food, but I'm kind of attached to this medium effort. I'm not really ready to get rid of it, because I do want to keep some ability to whack my opponents. So I think we're gonna go for this. I'll remind you that if I don't like either of those cards, I'm able to say that I'm using neither of them, and I'm just resting through this, and I just get number of small effort equal to the time value of the card. I don't think I'm gonna do that quite yet, though. I think I'll go for this extra food. So I'll spend another one of my small efforts, spend the time, get an extra food. All right, come on. You really need some more small effort here. Okay, well, this is interesting. This card actually allows me to spend one of my foods to get a new skill. That might be helpful. So I think I'm gonna go for that. Might be a little bit ambitious of me, but let's see how that works out. So it does cost me 1, 2, 3 time and 1 food, but I get to pick up 2 skills as an elderly orc exchanges all this food that I give him for some knowledge. So I can either be better at exchanging small effort for cunning, or I could spend metal and wood to ignore wounds in combat. I like this. I both like it thematically, with my angry brawler dude picking up stuff and tying itself to him to defend himself from the monsters, and because I already have a couple of extra pieces of metal and wood, so I actually have the resources to take advantage of this. Now the sucky thing is that I kind of ran out of time here, and I'm approaching this level 3 monster that's probably going to be a pretty significant threat with only 4 small efforts. So all my skill acquisition might have been a little optimistic. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot to place 3 tokens here, because that's I'm on 3rd level, so I get to use my character's ability 3 times. It's no big deal because all of his abilities are usable in combat only anyways. But anyway, we definitely ran out of time a little bit. I think I'm going to go for a desperate maneuver of trying to find a card with 1 duration here to restore at least 1 more small effort. So come on, 1 duration. Huzzah! Got lucky here. So I actually think I think this might be worth to actually use this, because that way I'm able to get in a couple of medium power whacks with my sword. Okay, so that was 1 time. So no more time to lose. Let's figure out which monster we are fighting randomly again. Number 3. So we go 1, 2, 3. And it is a well-armored hobgoblin. And I am so dead. Although maybe not quite. Let's see. So he didn't get to ambush me. Yay. His trickery, in order to trick him, I would need to downgrade my weapon and use some cunning. Not an option for us, as I don't have a cunning. The really bad thing about him is that he has whopping 3 armor. 3 armor. How am I going to do this? Not looking great, but let's start. So my first action is my sword actually has a very efficient way of breaking armor. Only 1 small effort. So let's see if maybe this will be enough. So pay 1 small effort. 1 of his armor is broken. Now, unlike my spirit, which is unbroken. Haha, roll credits. So now the hobgoblin gets his turn, and he gets to apply one of his nasty effects here. Sheesh, and he disarms me. He wants to downgrade my weapon to bare hands for 2 rounds. No, buddy, I just spent all this time and effort making the sword. You're not taking it away from me so easy. So I think I'm going to use one of my character's ability called I've Seen Worse, and re-roll this die roll. And I'll be able to take whatever of the 2 rolls that I want. The other option is a 5, which is a wound effect that allows me to lose only 1 small effort. And because of my improvised armor here, I can just say that, oh, there we go. The shield or whatever I made for myself allows me to ignore that wound. Huzzah! Okay, gotta keep my turn now, so I gotta keep breaking his armor. 1 more armor break on you, friend. So broke his 2nd armor. His turn. Aha! So he misses me. This is going about as well as it possibly could for me. For my turn, I guess I still have to spend 1 more small effort to break his 3rd armor here. He gets to smack me back. Wow, really getting lucky here as he misses me again. I guess he was that impressed with my little wooden shield. So now I'm really short on effort here. So about the only thing I'm left to do is keep whacking him. So I get to use my medium effort to deal 3 wounds to him. 1, 2, 3. He only has 1 left. He gets to strike me now. It's a 4. So he would wound me for 1 small effort. That's not something I want to happen. So I'm going to spend my my metal through my improvised weapons, improvised armor skill, ignoring that wound. I guess my last thing that I can do here is spend that last medium effort to, again, do a disproportionately large wound to him. I guess I behead him in an extremely stylish fashion. So the Hobgoblin is defeated. Now we get to have some rewards from him. So I get 2 metal, 2 small effort, and 3 time. So my next level will start not from 4, but rather 1, 2, 3 extra time for me. Now, and I get an armored condition as I was able to, I guess, take the armor that he was using, and that will allow me to ignore the next 2 wounds I would suffer, which is great. In addition to my improvised armor, I am really coming up to be quite the tank here. Unfortunately, now I also need to eat stuff. So I need to eat 3 food. I only have 1, so I'll eat the first one. It will bring me up to 3, and now I'm lacking 2 food. For the first, missing 1, I need to spend 1 small effort, and for the second missing 1, I need to spend 2 small effort. So that brings me to 0 small effort. I'll remind you that I lose if I would need to spend small effort but couldn't. Not quite there, so I'm hanging to my life by a thread. Still not looking great for me, but somehow I did manage to survive this, mostly thanks to him rolling these 1s. Thank you, friend Hobgoblin. We are now proceeding to level 4, for which we have some extra time and no effort left whatsoever. Lovely. So we are going to charge up our abilities here and go right. Oh, actually, and we get a new skill. So we can either become resistant, to allow us to reroll any effect that imparts a condition on us, or we can become stoic, which will make us need to eat less food. Given the fact that we just died of hunger, I think we'll go for stoic, just to not have to eat so much. All right, so 22 units of time, lots of time to get a lot of effort. That's all I want right now. Say I, and immediately want to go for this cunning instead of effort. If I lose, remind me that this is exactly where it went wrong. So for using 1 time, I am going to come into the next encounter and eavesdrop on a couple of orcs and gain some recon out of that. So I now have a piece of cunning. Because I committed to next encounter, I just get to pick this up and use it whatever it says. Oh, and I luck out once again. This is like the perfect card for me right now. Get to spend some time, 1, 2, 3, please, and get 4 small effort. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I had to stop and catch my breath, and it really helped me. All right, on we go. 2 more cards. Okay, so I can spend a small effort to gain 2 metal. I already have a couple of metal here, which I think will give me a couple of uses of my improvised armor skill. And I don't really have any more use for metal, given the fact that my weapon is already at max efficiency, so I probably don't want this to happen. So I think, while I'm not able to use the exchange here because I don't have any food, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rest through this one and just pick up 1 small effort for resting. Okay, that wasn't particularly useful, but maybe some of the next stuff will be. And let's see what we have here. Okay, well, we can either use the cunning that we just gained and get some food, and these 2 food would basically be all that we need, or we can get a medium effort. Now, this medium effort I really like because that will allow me to hit the monster pretty hard with my sword. And if I'm not able to kill the monster, I am not going to get to the point where I even need food. So let's prioritize here. We're going to spend 2 time and get a medium effort. We continue picking up our encounters. This uses an older icon for treasure. This does not change the fact that I still don't have any treasure, as this game has been all about just barely scraping by and surviving. However, this one, there is a disgusting slimy creature crawls along the wall. Yum! I think we own it to ourselves to catch it and eat it. So 1 food we get from that and takes us 2 time. With our stoic ability, this will pretty much guarantee that we don't die of starvation. See a couple more cards. Okay, so again, anything that costs small effort at this point, I'm going to basically ignore because I am only interested in collecting as much small effort, and that's why I love this card, because it only takes 1 time and gets me 2 small effort, bringing us up to 7. I want to be at least at 15, and hopefully with a couple of medium and large efforts here. Note that I'm not even trying to scout what I'm fighting against, because that would take some effort and time, and that's not a luxury that I have, so I'm just trying to prepare as best I can and hope that the sword and the skills that I have will be sufficient for it. But let's open up a couple more cards, see where we go. Ooh, interesting. So I could either, well, I don't really need either of those. This definitely not. So the 2 cunnings, that's interesting. There are some monsters that really need cunning to fight efficiently. I'm not sure whether I'm going to get one of those or not. And 5 time is a ton of time that would otherwise I'll be able to get some effort. Well, if we say that we're a dumb fighter, let's just go for pure effort here. So we're just going to rest through this card. 1, 2 time. Sorry, that was 1, 2 effort, and we lose 2 time. Keep going, still 10 time left. We're up to 9 small effort, very nice. Ooh, I love this card. So it seems like for only 5 time we'll get 2 medium effort, which would basically be like a bastion of our combat ability in this upcoming fight. So I'm liking this. As much as I would like to have a couple more food, I think I need the effort more. So I will spend 5 time and get 2 medium efforts. Lovely. Still 5 time left. Let's see where we are here. Definitely not, well, still don't have any treasure, so can't really take advantage of this. Not really that interested in seeing more cards. Right now I just want more effort, so I think I'm just going to rest through this card. And like these getting extra cards can be really useful in some situations, like when you're really looking for example, some metal to craft a weapon that you're in desperate need of. But right now I'm okay, so all I need is just small effort. So I'm just going to say that I rest through this, and I gain 1 more small effort. Okay, 4 more time. Still pretty safe in exploring here. So I'm going to pick up 2 more cards. This is interesting. So I could either sacrifice one of my metals and get a big boost in my effort, or sacrifice nothing and get a small boost. I think because I'm already armored from robbing that poor Hobgoblin, I think I'm going to go for this, because I don't feel I have that many uses for the metal, and I will get 1 medium and 2 small effort at the cost of 1 time. So this is where the things really get tricky. The chances of me getting 2 cards, both duration of 3 and up, are low, but they're there. But I still feel like I don't really have 12 small efforts is not a huge amount for the final fight, so I think I'll try. I'll see if I'm able to squeeze in just 1 more encounter. If both of these cards have 3 or more duration, I am screwed, because then the monster will ambush me, and I'm definitely not going to have enough. Oof! I was kind of worried there when the first thing came up as a 4. So this is good. Definitely not using this, because if I would, the monster would definitely ambush me. Now, curiously, some monsters actually don't have an ambush effect, and if I would have scouted the monster, I would have known that, and I would be more comfortable sort of running into the non-existent ambush. But because I am stingy and didn't scout, I will just have to hedge my bets. So, another disgusting slimy creature crawls. Well, we're collecting quite a collection of those, so we're going to spend 2 time, pick up the extra food, and say that now, no more time to lose. Let's see what kind of a final boss do we have to face here. Okay, so number 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we are going to fight a A wyvern, a huge freaking wyvern. So actually, curiously, this is exactly the monster that I was telling you about that doesn't have the ambush feature, so we could have totally ran into the zero and not be penalized in any way. But, so anyway, this is a huge monster. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 wounds, 16 health. I have no idea how I'm going to have enough effort to bust through that. So I will get the poisoned condition. Seems to be a little bit of a theme here. I was poisoned in the beginning by the spider. I'm poisoned once again. Very nice. I congratulate them on keeping up with the theme here. So I get poisoned at the beginning of the fight, and this is just going to be a straight back and forth of seeing whether I am able to bring it down before the thing kills me. I get to go first. Actually, curiously, because it's a dumb, stupid, hungry beast, I am able to pay a cunning and a food to inflict 4 wounds on it, which is a pretty good deal, and I do have a cunning and a food, so that's something that we'll need to keep in mind and might be useful to finish it off. So the first thing that happens, because I'm poisoned, I lose a small effort. I think what I'll start doing is I'm going to start just smashing it with my this medium effort into 3 wounds action, and I think I will also use the power through ability just to make sure that I'm punching quickly and efficiently. So 1 medium effort and 2 more small efforts to use this ability. Boom, boom. That's 3 plus 1. That's 4 wounds to begin with. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's pretty decent. Let's see what the wyvern can throw at me. 5. So this poison effect would reduce my large effort into 4 small efforts. Thankfully, I don't have a large effort. Haha, eat your heart out. However, I do get to lose 2 small efforts as an alternative. And unfortunately, it poisons me some more. So now every turn, I will lose 2 small effort. Crap, really running out of time here. You know what, actually, this is so bad that I think I'm going to, no, that's fine. I wanted to potentially use my reroll ability, but I guess we'll keep it for later in more dire circumstances. My turn again. First thing that happens is because I'm poisoned, I lose 2 small effort. And, well, for now, let's just keep smashing it in the face, again, using my power through ability. So that's, again, 1 medium effort, 2 small efforts, and 3 plus 1, 4 more wounds. 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds to you, buddy. Let's see what the wyvern gets back at me. 3, wound, lose 2 small effort. Now, I love seeing this wound effect because this means that I get to use my armored condition. Thank you, Hobgoblin friend. Your armor is totally coming in handy as we use it to prevent this thing chomping on our fleshy bits. My turn again. Starts with me losing 2 more small effort. Yeesh. I am not sure if I'm going to be able to survive it. This poison is really killing me. I suppose we're gonna go. Well, let's do this. So we'll actually be able to spend a cunning and a food to inflict 4 more wounds onto it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you go. Now the wyvern does bite back. 2. So it would lose, it would make us lose a wound, a food, and it would regain 1 health for eating that food. I'm not comfortable with that, so I'm going to use my reroll ability now, and let's see if we can get, I would love for it to get a 1 or a 3 so that we can block it with my armor. Come on, yes, 3, exactly what I wanted. So Hobgoblin armor comes in handy once again. Now, unfortunately, again, because I'm poisoned at the beginning of my turn, I lose 2 small effort. So I lose 1. I have no more small effort. You can always lose higher grade effort, but you understand it's extremely inefficient when you get to do it. So I get to lose my medium effort instead of the small one. On my turn, all I am able to do really is to hit it with my medium effort attack here. I no longer have enough small effort to use this, which sucks because if I would be able to do that, I would be able to at least finish it off. I would still starve to death, I think. But because I only have the medium effort, so I get to deal only 1, 2, 3 wounds to it. and the wyvern gets to hit back, and 4 lose 2. Now, because I don't have 2 food, the wyvern just makes me lose 3 small effort, which I don't have. So that means that, angry at the fact that I don't have enough food for it to eat, it decides to eat me instead. And there is no more trusty armor to protect it from me. I guess in a fit of desperation, I'm going to use my last reroll ability to see maybe if I can get another 1 or a 3 here. First of all, that's going to be a problem. So that 3 does mean that it would only wound me, and I do have a metal to block that wound through my improvised armor. I'm really armored here. So I get to ignore that, but unfortunately at the beginning of my turn, because I'm still poisoned and there are still 2 of these tokens on here, I do get to lose 2 effort that I don't have, which means that I am now dead, poisoned by the deadly wyvern. And that's, at this point the game would stop, and I would feel sad and probably a little wishing that I would reroll that first action that increased the dose of poison that I lost hit point or small effort from every turn. So there we go. I gave it my all and came in pretty close, but ultimately lost and was not able to defeat the wyvern. And that was Unbroken, or rather broken, because I died terribly. But don't let that turn you off from the game. It's still fun even when you lose like I did. I hope that this video gives you a good idea of what Unbroken is and what it plays like. Another reminder that when you don't talk through every step of the way, it takes significantly less time. But do try the print and play. Feel free to ask us questions, and we look forward to launching this on Kickstarter in spring of 2018. Hope to have your support when we do. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.